But I might as well hop into Ackruh. I don't know how to fucking say it, alright, so sue me. Hop into it.
Your first assignment is to put an end to the unrest and rebellion threatening a nearby system.
Right, and in this situation, it's a cruiser clash. It's just a deathmatch. The defender, it doesn't really matter on those. 250 point deployment, which means I'm get to deploy my light cruiser that leveled up, and I'll get to deploy some escort ships this time, so I'll be able to show them off a little bit. The reward is 50 flat renown, which is the currency in this game. It lets you buy ships, upgrade ships, get better crew, customize your ships more, gain favors. It's the currency, like I said. But you get 25 of that even if you're defeated. You get 30% of the cost of an enemy ship if you destroy it. So if you destroy an enemy ship that's worth 100 renown to buy it, then you will get 30 renown flat for destroying that ship, which is pretty valuable considering that the victory purse is 50. You also get 15% of the cost of heavily damaged ships. That means ships that are almost dead but not quite dead, you still get a good portion of the renown possible. So destroying a ship isn't the most important thing, but just getting it down to low enough is especially important. Because enemy ships can warp out just like you, and they will often try to.
This interface helps you prepare your fleet for the next mission.
Yeah.
At the head of every fleet is the flagship. You must select one of your vessels as the flagship for each assignment. Choose your Dauntless Light Cruiser as the flagship for this first operation. You have another captain assigned to your command. This captain commands a Dauntless Light Cruiser and will assist you for the duration of the mission. Add his ship to your fleet. Smaller ships of the escort class can provide fire support or scout for the enemy. The Firestorm frigates are a good choice for this assignment. Once your fleet is prepared to engage the enemy, you should set course for the target system at once.
Alright, now that he's done talking, I can explain, here. The escort ships, you see how little they cost, like a 255 point fleet cost in order to field. Firestorm frigates, if I'm not, they're the ones with the light lances in the front. So the Firestorm frigates have some guns on the side, not too much, but on the front they have a light prow lance, which is pretty good because it has a better critical damage rate and it does more damage. The Sword Frigate just has more guns on it. The Cobra Destroyer and the Widowmaker's Cruiser both have torpedoes and different varying loadouts. But I'm probably mostly going to use the Firestorm or Sword Frigate. Probably mostly the Sword Frigate, actually. But as you see, I have no points available left to spend. So I'm just going to hop right in to the battle. Hopefully. I'm got to remember, I'm playing on hard.
Admiral. The fleet has
And Ironman, so I really can't afford to fuck up.
Ships.
Although in these early missions, this is the prologue, so I'm probably not gonna. Nothing's really gonna happen. Please shut up.
Now you must select how you wish to deploy remaining ships of the line. Now that your cruisers are deployed, you must next determine where to place the Firestorm escort vessels. Your new promotion has placed you in command of the entire fleet, Admiral. That means you can order your captains to adopt engagement modes during the battle. These engagement modes define how your captains act in battle.
Yes, I know.
You can change the engagement modes at any time.
I know.
Admiral.
Oh my god.
Firestorm escort ships have powerful prow weapons. I would advise setting these ships to a frontal attack. A good understanding of each ship's weapons is the best way to know which engagement mode to use. The macro cannons on our ships are most effective when fired at short range.
I know that. I know.
Now that we've deployed the fleet, it is time to root out these rebellious traitors.
Okay,
all ships, coordinate your movements. We will advance as one group at the same speed.
God, I wish I could turn that off. Alright, so
At your command.
right off the bat, I'm going to right-click Emergency Repairs, which means that whenever the AI sees fit, it will activate the Emergency Repairs ability, which will start repairing some of the HP back. It'll recover HP back of the ship. It won't heal any of like critical damages like getting the deck destroyed or losing your engines or anything like that, but it will gain back your health, and I'm just going to set that to autocast on all the ships.
Ship ready.
For other abilities, I'm probably also going to set them on autocast, except for torpedoes and
We will set
teleportations.
course for a gas cloud and use it to ambush the rebel ships.
Yeah.
Once our ships enter the gas cloud, it should mask our fleet's emissions.
Okay. As far as I'm aware, the best close-range faction is probably the Imperial Navy. You could argue that the Orcs are, because the Orcs are very, very boarding heavy. They have boarding torpedoes. Nearly all of their ships can have boarding ships. Every ship can have, of the Orcs, can have hangar bays. Some of them, the hangar bays can deploy bombers, fighters, and they can also have assault boats, which perform boarding actions the same way that the
Ship ready.
boarding action here does,
Orders received.
which, as I said before, can cause critical damage, so they're extremely potent. And with enough...
The gas cloud conceals
please
our
stop.
fleet, sir. We're invisible to the enemy ships.
Excellent. The trap is set.
I'm just going to shut up until this
now
happens.
we wait for our prey.
Jesus, this is not even worth
Sir,
talking over.
I've detected an enemy vessel. Shall I engage?
Wait until you have identified your target, Captain.
I have a probe ready to launch, Admiral. That ought to tell us what we're looking at.
Very well, Captain. Launch the probe.
I did it, dude, okay?
Yes, Admiral. Understood.
Turn this on so I can see the exact barrier for the Nova Cloud invisibility.
Yes, Admiral.
Dominator class cruiser. I only have light cruisers, but I do have 2 of them. So I
Awaiting
am at a
orders.
distinct advantage. Just gotta wait for it to come back into fucking... or come into range. It hasn't actually entered it yet. This prologue is a bit labored, if I'm gonna be honest. Once the prologue ends, it takes hands off, and it basically lets you do whatever it is you want to do. Lets you make your own
Your
mistakes.
orders?
Underway.
So, Admiral Spire, did Ravensburg send you to bring us to heel? There are other powers in the galaxy.
Go ahead and
besides
take
the
off your
Imperial
generator so he loses
they
his
can
engines.
reward you for your skill and your devotion.
Helm coordinates acknowledged. Changing course.
Just staying broadside with him, I'm able to outpace his damage.
Engines hot.
The enemy's void shields are down. Sir, I suggest that we concentrate fire on their plasma generator.
Oh, don't worry, I
Targeting
am way
the
ahead of you.
plasma generator drains the ship's power. They'll have difficulty using their warp engines. Critical damage to the enemy ship, sir. Their void shield capacitors are destroyed.
No more shields for you.
Course plotted.
Yeah, you can focus on different aspects of the ship. For example, the generators, like you described, will keep the shields from being up. And when I'm firing macro cannons, that's extremely useful to take out first, because that basically means I'm just going to keep hitting their health bar and have chances to cause more critical damage like fires, hull breaches, even take out other systems like decks or engines.
At your command.
Just by sheer volume of fire, I'll bring them down.
Activating tactical cogitators.
Forwarding success.
Ship
Caused a
ready.
fire.
Activating tactical cogitators. Admiral, this is a battle we cannot win. I'm taking my ship out of this mess.
Admiral, he is activating his warp engines and preparing to disengage from the battlefield.
This cowardice cannot be tolerated!
I love this.
Admiral, we must put an end to this pitiful display and make an example of this craven fool!
I love this. Whenever somebody is insubordinate, like they get scared and they want to run away, you can execute their... you can execute the admiral, and the ship will return.
This is Lieutenant Kraft. You've executed the captain and taken back control of the ship. Well done, Kraft. You've been promoted to captain. Follow my orders and we'll get through this.
As you command, Admiral.
Setting course.
As you see, he has taken a little bit of damage out of this. He takes out my shields extremely quickly because he is armed with 4 macro batteries, whereas I am only armed with a measly 2 light macro batteries.
Underway.
The macro batteries proper, like those, are quite devastating.
Engines hot.
Nothing like these light macro batteries I'm firing at
All
them.
ahead full.
Enemy ship sighted!
Just use my speed to catch back up with him and get more in range. Slowly but
plotted.
surely bring him to his knees. Trying to take out his engines so that he can't
The
maneuver
enemy
anymore.
ship has activated its warp engines and is attempting to disengage.
I have a strike team of Navy armsmen ready to sabotage the enemy's warp engines. We must act quickly and use the ship's teleportarium to launch the attack.
Ship ready.
Fool! Your faith in the Emperor is as false as your courage!
Oh.
Silence this heresy.
Oh.
Fire all weapons. Activating tactical cogitators.
Ooh, he's lost his engines. Okay, see, this ship has torpedoes,
Activating
and I'm going to
tactical
fire them.
cogitators.
You have to aim them and fire them manually. But against the ship with no
distance from the enemy
engines.
ship, sir. It will soon explode.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, and he just explodes.
All ships, you fought with valor this day, and proven yourselves worthy of the Imperial Navy.
If you're too close to an enemy ship when it
Set course
explodes,
to leave the system.
my god, it never
I
shuts
must
up.
report our victory to Lord Admiral Ravensburg.
If you're too close to an enemy ship when it explodes, it will damage your ship, and if the ship that explodes is big enough and your ship too near to it is small enough, it will just outright kill it. It's very important not to get too close to them when they're about to explode, because that could easily cost you a ship. A nice touch, if I do say so myself. Yeah, hopefully the prologue is about to be over.
You've exceeded my expectations, Admiral.
Yes, yes.
However, other seditious forces are making themselves known in the Gothic sector. I would like you to meet Fabricator Cambrius. He is in charge of the Adeptus Mechanicus shipyard.
Mechanicus!
Admiral, you and your fleet can repair and upgrade your vessels at Port Moore. By the Omnissiah, my tech priests
praise be to the
ready
Omnissiah.
assist you. Your current rank allows you access to the most common classes of vessel. As you grow in renown throughout the Gothic sector, larger classifications of ships will become available. Follow me, Admiral Spire. I wish to show you the sacred shipyards of Port Moore.
That, I love the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus, if you're, for those unaware of 40k lore, are those who create, maintain, and, well, I say create, they build and maintain all forms of technology throughout the Imperium, from the high-tech, Space Marine armor, to dreadnoughts, to Imperial battleships, even down to standard bolters and lasguns. They technically take great part in that, and all technology is sacred to them, because each machine has a machine spirit that must be appeased in order to better service and give respect to the Omnissiah, the machine god. I love it, and because they're the sole reason that I like a Space Marine chapter known as the Iron Hands. The flesh is weak. Gotta love Ferrous Mass too. Reach level 2 and unlock a cruiser slot. Additional deployment per turn.
Port Moore is the largest, and there are several.
Yeah, I know.
This panel displays the web.
I can describe it better. Okay, so you see that my ship leveled up during the first mission. Whenever a ship levels up, it'll often gain an ability the chance to upgrade the ship, increase its skill and its crew.
This by the cap you should.
For now, I have to increase it. Oh my god, shut up.
Different systems of the.
I'll explain it better. I'll explain it once it's done. I'll explain it when it's done.
The modules that now. I must return.
Okay, thank God he shut up. Yeah, you'll gain the chance to level up your ship, or when your ship levels up, you'll gain the chance to increase crew points, and you have myriad of different options to increase them, but note that over here at reconditioning, you can reset them all and redistribute them as you want, as long as you have the renown to do so. The first one it demanded, well, I'll just go down the line. The Commissar reduces by 10% per level the chance of insubordination when the ship reaches 30% of its hull integrity. Basically what happens is, whenever a ship reaches low health, there's a chance that it will become insubordinate and will try to flee against your orders. And if that happens, then the ship doesn't gain renown or experience for that mission, I believe. Which really, but more importantly, you'll be losing a ship in the middle of a fight, which is horrible, even if it was low on health. The Navigator, a ship retreating through the warp whenever you're retreating, has a 45% chance to be lost on the warp. That's a big chance. That's almost a coin flip level. Usually, I mean, even if it does get lost on the warp, it may not be the end of the world, but this Navigator will increase the chance of successful retreat. I am hoping I don't have to retreat that often, so you won't see me upgrading that as much. You have the Tech Priest, which improves the efficiency of emergency repairs. That just means that the emergency repairs ability heals more HP. It's more effective. It's a good upgrade all around. Master Gunner improves by 25% the critical chance of lances and macro weapons per level. So it just gives you a better critical chance of causing like fires or taking down causing fires, causing hull breaches, destroying the deck, the engines, the generators, the guns on enemy ships. Upgrading that a lot is usually what most points go into, for me anyway. The Tech Priest isn't bad either. Ratings improves the troop value of the ship by 3 points per level. Alright, troop value, like I can go over here and show you. The troop value for this ship is 60. The higher the troop value, the harder it is for the enemy to have a successful boarding action against you. So if your troop value is 60, it'll be easier to board you than it would be to board a ship that has a troop value of 100. Because the troops on the... For example, a battleship has a much higher troop value than a light cruiser does. Because of that, boarding a battleship is going to be far more difficult than just boarding a light cruiser. There's less crew to go around, the crew isn't as good. So that's what that means. Those are useful, or ratings, improving the ratings is useful for close range ships, which these will be. But there are also favors and abilities that increase that as well. So I'm probably not going to increase that much. Servitors. Reduce the cooldown time of all skills by 4% per level. This is a nice one. Maybe not exactly nice for the Imperial Navy, but especially nice for Chaos. I know, it's extremely good there. Here, I get some free ran over upgrades here. Now the Dauntless Light Cruiser, this is the one that has macro batteries, double level. Has torpedoes. I'm just gonna choose Master Gunner. And for upgrades, I didn't get to discuss the upgrades, but I'll discuss here. There are 5 categories that you can improve on a ship via upgrades. One is the engine, where you have things like maneuvering, like the ships turn faster. Combustion gauge, like the high speed, the super acceleration, is improved by 25%. It's more effective. You get to do it for longer, or it moves you faster. I'm not sure. Then you have the flat upgrade like the Mazoa Pattern Drive, which means their ship just is improved by a flat 25. The speed of this ship is 188, so that would move it to about like 205, which is considerably faster. It's quite a nice upgrade for some ships, and you probably will see me use it, because these ships are not exactly as fast as some of their counterparts. Like the Eldar are certainly faster than them, Chaos are faster than them, but with these upgrades, it allows you to get in range easier and unload your macro. Oh, Jesus fuck! And unload your macro batteries more often, which means you're more likely to cause critical damage, which means you're more likely to win. It's very Cascade-esque. Then you also have the generator, which applies mostly to shields. You have things like asteroid damage no longer damage your shields. That's nice. Or no longer damage your ship because the shield's better against it. Reload speed of the shield is improved by 50%. That's a nice upgrade because when your shields go down, it takes a while for them to come back, but that'll cut down on the downtime, allowing you to take minimal hull damage whenever your shields go down. Quite nice. I like that upgrade. Then you have the flat additional void shield generator, which line ships are all ships that are not escort ships. Just increases the amount of shields you have. Flat upgrade. Voss Pattern Void Shield. A ship's shield has 25% denied damage. You have the deck, which is like ignore the first critical hit. So the first time somebody scores a critical hit that would cause a fire or destroy. Oh, first critical damage caused to a system. It's very specific. So the first time somebody has a critical hit that would destroy your engines or your generator or your deck or your guns, it's ignored because of this upgrade. That's very, 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 very useful, because early on, like if somebody gets a lucky shot and takes out your engines very early on in mid battle, it's devastating, because that ship is going to be a sitting duck. It's going to get picked off. Things like special orders can be used when the deck is destroyed. Increased duration for the special orders. The hull, you can just increase the hull points. It's the health bar. Fires last shorter. Additional defense turrets. Every single ship has defense turrets on it that don't actually attack the enemy ship, but they do shoot down things like torpedoes and bombers and assault boats that come their way. They're basically AA guns. There's also an upgrade here. I can't get the power ram. Fits an energy enhanced spur on the ship, increases ramming speed by 50. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but ramming is an extremely effective method, which I will implement the first chance I get. Then you have weaponry, which I'm going to use here, but most like torpedoes move faster, longer. Your distance is increased, accuracy is better at long range, better lightning strikes, things like that. But the one that's gonna go on nearly all of my ships is this one: armor piercing ammunitions. The ship's macro weapons always count the enemy armor at 25% when firing at 3,000 units or less. So at very close range, which is already where these guns shine at, it ignores a large portion of the enemy's armor value. It always counts the enemy armor at a quarter of what it usually is. That's huge. You can take down massive amounts of health extremely quickly if you have two ships firing on an enemy ship within 3,000 units. You'd be very surprised at how fast they go down. But we also have a cruiser slot. Quite a little selection here. You get to choose whatever ship, and you can replace them at any time. Dictator. They all have different roles, like things like the... Let me see, what is the... Oh yeah, the Gothic one has lance batteries, which are long range. It also has some torpedoes on it. Then you also have the Dictator, which has launch bays, having a bit of a carrier style. But you've got mine, which has the one I'm going to pick for most cruiser slots, which has a Nova cannon, which is nice. It has incredible range, can hit up to 25,000 units away. Does 200 damage. Ignores ship armor. It can basically get rid of a single ship right off the bat if you hit it. It does have some scatter on it. But it also has 4 macro batteries. Not light macro batteries, but 4 macro batteries. This is the ship that we were just fighting against. I'm going to add one of these. upgrades. I don't have enough money or renown to buy another upgrade this time, but next time I will upgrade it with probably supercharged voice shields, which means your shields become impenetrable for 10 seconds. When you're in close range firefight, that's extremely useful. But also, maybe my favorite ability, Micro Warp Jump, which allows you to teleport within a given area around you, which is stupidly useful. If you, like, say somebody's going to place one of these, a stasis bomb, which is a large AoE bomb that when it explodes, basically makes everything inside of the bubble come to a dead stop. If that's about to go off, you can just teleport right out of it and completely avoid it, thus probably saving that ship's life. But I've already rambled on enough in this particular video. I'm gonna cut it off now. Next time we're gonna go to the Gothic sector and start putting boots to asses, I promise you, until I lose, in which case it's gonna go all downhill just like shit. Need I remind you? Catch you down the road.